Section 4.7, quadratic formula. Our quadratic formula is given here, and we're doing problem 1. We're asked what are the solutions. When we are asked to find solutions of a quadratic equation, what are we looking for?
Solution.
What are the solutions?
X.
They are x-intercepts. So when it asks us to find solutions, we're looking for x-intercepts using the quadratic formula. And what we just said is, to use the quadratic formula, we need to be in standard form with everything on one side. That you should write in the form. You're covered. So what do we do first? Subtract the 4. So we have 2x squared minus x minus 4 equals 0. So before we begin, let's identify A, B, and C. 2, negative 1, negative 4. Good. 2, negative 1, and negative 4. Okay. And now we just plug in. Now, people think they're going to like quadratic formula because it is just a formula you plug in, but there are little places where errors are made, so do be careful. So here we go. X equals
Negative 1.
Negative of negative 1 makes it positive 1, plus or minus the square root of.
Negative 1 squared is 1.
Yes, so I want to point something out. No matter what b is, we are squaring it. So will this term ever be negative?
No.
Never ever. So this is negative 1 in parentheses squared. When you put this in your calculator, if you don't have your parentheses around the negative 1, it will give you a negative there. Because it will square first and then multiply by negative 1. So remind yourself to put the parentheses in. Minus 4 times 2 times
Negative 4.
negative 4.
All over 2 times 2.
All over 2 times 2. All right? Right now, at this point, you would have 3.5 out of 5 points. Okay, so now we need to rewrite it. So that is 1 plus or minus the square root of 1. Minus the negative is going to make it positive, so it's going to be plus 16 times 2 is 32. All over 4.
How are we going to do with this point?
3.5. X equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 33 all over 4. And we're done. Bye. That's the answer. Now you could break it down and say x equals 1 plus root 33 all over. Please note that I'm saying the words all over 4. So you will not just have root 33 over 4. And x equals 1 minus root 33 all over 4. Okay? Now, yes,
On the test, do we have to write it out like that, or can we just do?
this is an acceptable form unless I ask for you to separate it. What you do need to be careful of is perfect squares, and we are going to be talking about how to simplify roots so that we can simplify our answers. But today we're just working with getting used to the formula. All right, so we look at this one. Your school's jazz band is selling CDs as a fundraiser. The total profit P depends on the amount X that your band charges for each CD. The equation P equals negative X squared plus 48X minus 300 models the profit of the fundraiser. What is the least amount in dollars you can charge to make a profit of 200?
200.
Exactly. For what? For P, exactly. They told us they want our profit to be 200. So we want to start by making P 200. And then we want to solve for X.
There should be an X in your first place, just that, after your 48.
Yes. Thank you. Good. So, we want to use quadratic formula. So what do we do? Subtract the 200. It is, please be quiet. You know when you're whispering it.
Why
All right.
drop your negative one x?
I shall. All right. So at this point, listen up. I would like you to use your calculators to help you, and I want you to solve this for the 2x. All right. So when I plugged in my A, B, and C, I ended up with negative 48 plus or minus the square root of 304 all over negative 2. And then I broke it up into two separate x-intercepts, negative 48 plus root 304, all divided by negative 2. So when you enter this in your calculator, I would put in negative 48 plus root 304, and I would hit enter. And then I would take that and divide by negative 2. Otherwise, you're going to be just dividing root 304 by negative 2. And it could give you this effect here. So, make sure you enter the top, hit enter to get that answer, and then press divide by negative 2. We get 15.28. The other thing you can do is put parentheses around the top, and then just put the divide by negative 2, and you could do it in one line. I don't think that's easier, but if you want to, you can. All right. And then over here, we'll have parentheses around the top here, and we get 37.72. So what is the least amount in charge? The least amount is the smaller of the two, 15.28. Any questions on that? Okay? All right. Let's move on. Okay. So sometimes we can figure things out about a quadratic equation without going through the entire quadratic formula. This discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, it's the part that is under the root, is called the discriminant, can tell us the number of x-intercepts that we are going to have. So if you think about this, if I had negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 100 all over 2. How many x-intercepts will I have? The square root of 100, we get two answers, right? Positive or negative 10. So we get negative 10 plus 10 over 2, and negative 10 minus 10 over 2. So when the discriminant is positive, I'm going to get two solutions, two x-intercepts. All right? Well, what if our discriminant, what if I had one that looked like negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 0 over 2? How many answers do I get then? If the discriminant is 0, 1, I do get it. Right, we'll do negative 10 over 2. We have no plus or minus, so we get one x-intercept. And then what happens? If the discriminant comes out to be negative. Can I take the square root of a negative number? No. So you have no, none, 0, x-intercept. Let me make sure. So our discriminant, I'm going to go backwards, comes out to be 0. So we have no x-intercept.
I thought you said your discriminant comes out to negative.
Oh,
0.
It is negative. Stella.
I'm sorry.
No. Good thing you're here today. All right. Negative. Not 0. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. All right. So the next slide just summarizes that. You don't have to write it this way. And we do have to make clear, though, so if the discriminant comes out to be positive, we have two, and the important word is real solutions, which is illustrated over here. We have two x-intercepts on both of these. Both of these illustrate two x-intercepts. If the discriminant equals 0, we have one real solution, and that's when our parabola just touches the x-axis at the vertex. That's when you have one real solution. And then if it comes out to be negative, then we have no real solutions, and that's when our parabola never touches the x-axis. Okay, so the three possibilities are two real solutions, one real solution, or no real solution. All right, one last example. Simply, what is the number of real solutions for negative 2x squared minus 3x plus 5 equals 0? So if I'm not asking you what the solutions are, I'm just asking how many we get, then all you need to do is b squared minus 4ac. No root, no subtraction outside of that, no division. And what is our a?
-2.
And our b?
-3.
And our c?
5.
5. So we just plug in b squared. Remember your parentheses around your b, always. Negative 3 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 5. So this comes out to be what? Positive 9 minus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 times 5, negative 40. So we have minus negative 40.
Which is +2.
So now it'll be plus 99 plus 40, giving us 49. How many solutions will I have? I will not have 49 solutions. I will have 2, because that is positive. 2 real solutions.
Could you not use the negative when it's for the, like, minus 4a? You don't use that minus? Could you-
We did, right there. We did minus, but this product came out to be a negative. So we did minus a negative, making it plus.
Okay.
Really? No. So we did b squared, negative 3 squared, minus 4 times a times c.
So you just did 4 times a times c, you didn't put that?
I leave the minus out, and then I subtract whatever answer I get. I understand now. All right, anything else, Mackenzie?
So, when do we do this instead of quadratic?
The number of real solutions versus being asked to find a solution. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm done with that. All right, so let's go find the homework.